All right, so this is like a technical demo basically. I'm just starting off this channel and I'm testing out like how audio and levels of different devices and different microphones and just getting the lay of the land. But I figured I'd showcase this game. So this is Elder Scrolls Online. It's been out for a long time. I think it's like almost like 15 years or something. I'd played it in the past and I was not very impressed with it, and I convinced myself that it was like vacuous and empty and just an MMO, busy work bullshit, not normal Elder Scrolls game, and I quickly abandoned it after probably like not half hour, 30 hours or so. So I came back to it like a couple months ago, and again, I was like going in with this like mindset, and I started playing it, and like I eventually got to a point where like I felt like I was playing like a Skyrim type game, and I stopped and I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, what is it that really is missing? I was like, if you put aside like true exploration of like, just losing yourself in crazy things you find, and this leads to that and the next thing, and you being alone and writing your story in this world and no one else being there to like really take away from your thunder. It works though. It somehow works. It's like really very similar to an Elder Scrolls normal game. Like basically the way I've been playing it is I've been ignoring like everything really that would be like, talking to people in guilds and getting in constructed, pre-made groups that you make with people, and like, hopping on like Discord or Reddit to talk about the game. Like I've just been playing it like, it's like a single player game basically. So I made a bunch of characters to check out the game, see how I like stuff. I guess I'm like an edgelord. I like to always play like the bad, evil type stuff. So immediately I gravitated towards the Nightblade, and then I was like trying out like Necromancer and Arcanist. So Arcanist is like forbidden magic books and stuff. It has to do with like one of the evil entities in the game of unknown knowledges. There's so much to talk about with this game, really. It's I'll really just try to like explain why you might want to play it. Like, in my opinion, this game has, I think, I would say the best systems of any like MMO type game, any action RPG, like anything that's like relatively in this, genre or adjacent to it. She's a vampire. It's like, let's give you an example. Like, there's maps you can find that have like drawings on them, and like you can go to that place and like dig up that thing, and like you can't look it up online. Like if you don't actually have the thing that tells you where you should find it, it won't be there type stuff. Now I'm summoning my bear. There's like, there's systems where you like create abilities to a degree. There's just like, there's a lot of cool things like that, like, general stuff you'd expect, like crafting. But the stuff that like I really like about it is like the fact that I can play a character to max level, and then at that point going forward, you don't feel like, oh, let me go level another character. Like, I have these 3 that I really like, and I just stop playing the other ones because I'm like, once you get max level, you get this thing called like champion points and champion levels, and basically as you progress that experience bar, you continue to get levels basically past max level, for lack of a better term, to put it crudely. And obviously this is like extremely incremental and small gains over a long period of time, but it's still something, and it's account wide. So it's like, I'm playing this character, I can hop on another character and, mess around on that. And it's like, you always feel like you're getting like the maximum progression that you could be getting but you're also doing whatever you want to do, and you're not beholden to like the game systems. Yeah, so like the way I play these games, like I don't do anything like the concept of like a daily quest like that. I'm not doing like chores. Like I play the game how I want to play it. I don't do anything I don't want to do at any given time. So I'm all about maximum fun. So yeah, so the whole alt friendliness of it's really cool. Like also compared to something like World of Warcraft, you can very easily just like transfer gear amongst characters, and like that is not the case for actual high-end gear that you're actually caring about in endgame for like World of Warcraft. Like don't act like that game, like yeah, there are pieces of gear that exist within the game that are buying on account, but like let's not get twisted like that and try to play it off differently. Like this game is very open like that. And another cool thing is like, all right, so I wanted to get this like set, and normally with like, wow, I'll go do something more interesting than run around town. So instead of going like raiding and trying to get like this random drop and doing this and this 80 times and all this stuff and having to like get into a pre-made group to do this and that, like I found this one set I wanted, and I checked what you need to do to get it. Then it's like, oh, you can go do these events that occur in the world where you gotta like fight a bunch of people and team up with people, and they happen every so often. And it's like one of these two pieces can drop there, and like apparently once you get one of them, like it'll give you like the thing you don't have as rewards, like in dungeons and such, so you don't get like duplicates before you get like the thing you don't have yet. And you could do like what I'm talking about with that event. You could do another thing to get maybe the boots and the necklace drop from a thing called a delve, and a delve is basically like a miniature solo dungeon for you to do by yourself. So you like find that in the map and you go do that, and now you might have that other piece. So basically what I've been putting together, you can see here, is what is going on? Oh, wrong menu. Okay, so this is the weapons section of my inventory. Bow is a backup weapon, so you have two weapons that you always have in this game that you can readily switch between during combat. So I have this thing called the Swamp Raiders set. Sadly, the weapon that I got is a restoration staff, which means nothing to me as a damage dealer. But I don't know what happened here. That's weird. So anyway, I had all 5 pieces equipped, I swear. Now that's making me think there's something wrong with the game. Let's see. Waist, neck, ring 1, 2. Oh, I know why. So, see, I'm learning all this stuff on myself, basically. So, I switched my weapon there to my other weapon. Now you'll see it fulfilled the. Now it's fulfilled. Now the reason that happened is because if your weapon belongs to the set bonus, like you can't benefit off of like the weapon that you don't actively have out bonuses. And the reason it went from 3 to 5, which was extra confusing in this situation, is because one-handed weapons count as an item, they made two-handed weapons count as 2 items. And to completely jump to another topic I just thought about, I haven't messed with it. I have no interest in doing it, but there's apparently like a card game in this game. You can play with like NPCs, but also real people. There's just a lot in this game. Like it's been out for a while and there's a ton of content. But back to this. So yeah, I got this whole setup now, and it took me, I don't know, what, 2 hours of gameplay to get an entire set that I feel like I have a complete build now. Like that's like, I mean, forget about WoW, forget about like 2 days, forget about like it might be like 2 weeks. I don't know. It's like so that's a good and a bad thing. Some people like a harder grind for stuff, but yeah, it's like it was really there's no eye level that anyone's looking at or worrying about. It's just like, can you hit the numbers you need to kill stuff in time? And I don't know. It's very stuff is not as sweaty and maxy, in my opinion, as other MMOs might be, like World of Warcraft, or even something as way more casual like Guild Wars 2. Yeah, so I'll talk about that too. Like Guild Wars 2 and World of Warcraft, I'll definitely compare those two a little bit more in a bit, but I want to talk about this character a little bit since we started talking about his gear. Now, I mentioned we have this set that we're running, the Swamp Raider set, and it gives stamina, critical chance, all the usual weapon and spell damage. Like if you played a video game before, you're looking at this, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, number go up, good. So I have that, and now my build is like all around that kind of stuff as well. And importantly, my build was basically the way it is now already before I even knew about this set. And then once I found out about the set, I just like pushed it over to the edge to go that route. But basically, what I did is in this game you can do a thing called subclassing, and that's a whole subject to talk about whether it's good for the game or not. I believe overall it's a bad choice, but regardless, it's here and it's fun as hell to mess with, and you can do like anything you want. It's really cool. So the reason I don't like it is because it gets rid of class identity. So like you see these things like Gravelord, Assassination, Animal Companions. These are things called skill lines. Now, each class has 3 skill lines that belong to a given class, but you may subclass, meaning you may take 1, not 2 or 3. Well, you can't have 3 anyway. But you can't take more than 1. You can only take 1 from a given class. So you can, as I did, I took Assassination from my Nightblade. Animal Companions is from from Warden. It doesn't matter if you have the character or not. I have a Warden. It doesn't really matter. It does in a way, but it's super not important for this video. But anyway, yeah. So I have like the Necromancer, Nightblade, and Warden lines here. Now, interestingly, when I was talking about this, I found myself looking at this. I almost was saying that I'm on my Nightblade, and the reason for that is because technically, if I was on my Nightblade, I could very well choose to pick up Gravelord from Necromancer and Animal Companions from Warden. And you can kind of see like, okay, so now 3 different people who've been playing 3 different classes that they identify with, love, and have been playing all the time. Now, okay, this comes out. Now they all go online, they look at what's the best build, and now you have like how many more times. And it's like, even if you're somebody that has a class that isn't one of the best 3 class for a given build, you could fudge it like for, if you're missing this one tanky skill line you need, there's probably another tanky skill line that has the spells you need that is your class, because you can't remove the one. You have to keep one of your skill lines from your class. You can't be totally not your class. So there's some nuance to it, but it's really cool. And again, the way they handle the systems, it's like when you are subclassing and leveling these skill lines up, they are account wide. If I'm trying to level up Gravelord on my Warden and Gravelord on my Nightblade, they will share that the level up bar. Now, my actual Necromancers will not have access to that experience bar. Theirs will be a header behind it based on that character itself. The account wide kicks in. Basically, all your subclass lines are like, picture them as like a whole separate set of copies of your character's skill lines in a way. It's kind of confusing. This whole game is not simple. It's, like I said, I've been playing 280 hours, and like I'm still learning so much, and I've engaged with, I'd say less than half of the systems in any capacity. And that's any capacity whatsoever. Couldn't even tell you anything beyond like the name of it, or that I saw a picture of it somewhere. There's just so much, and I don't feel like I'm losing power, missing out. Like I'll look at things online sometimes and be like, oh look, they have that ability I don't have because I didn't join that guild and get that ability. But it's like, all right, well, I got access to this thing, and it's like, all right, so it's like 5% worse. Like who gives a and again, like I play like a single player game, so it's like I don't care. Like you will be able to play anything you want, just like when you played Skyrim or Oblivion, and be able to beat all the single player content. You and if you want a challenge, they're soon allowing you to up the challenge and up the rewards. But the game has been balanced to basically be like a normal difficulty Elder Scrolls single player game, meaning you can basically be utterly average and dominate. So my character is a necromancer, and warden, I'd say, is like the primary mix here. So I've got the bear, which is like a really defining trait of the warden, really makes you feel like a hunter. I'm using a bow very often, furthers that feeling. I'm using some bow abilities, which are specific to the bow and are class agnostic. So the things I'm taking from the hunter or the warden, I'm taking the pet, the bear, and then I have this one ability that I use called Deep Fissure. And in summary, it basically, you could argue it's like maybe the best like armor removal, like defense destroyer ability in the game. Like it's AoE, it's multi-hit, it's high damage, it applies both of the like armor debuffy things. It's really good. And you have to be very like careful about the items you pick, the abilities you pick for your loadout, because you can see your primary backup. So you have 2 sets of weapons and 2 bars of skills, and you need to use arrow abilities while you're on the arrow bar. But my necromancer abilities, for example, could be used on either bar, and you could put the same ability on both bars. And people do that. There's a lot of nuance with this. It seems like, okay, you've seen this before, throw the shit on the bar and go to town. No, it actually like really, really matters. Like there will be abilities that are different based on whether they're on your front bar or not, or whether they're in your current bar or not. There are abilities that just being slotted anywhere on either bar will help you on either bar at any given time. Depending on what bar you're on, the weapon you have is different, and that weapon might have special bonuses that you want for those given spells on that given bar. Like my backup bar is basically all my starters. Like any fight that I really care about, I start off with my backup. I got my ranged weapon, I'm far away. I drop this thing, which takes multiple seconds to get going. It's very slow, delayed, blah, blah, blah. Insane power though, overall. Another thing, this thing, I summon it, it's a skeletal archer, and this looks a lot better. Boom. Couple seconds. So these things pop up and they just blast the enemy's armor away. A couple of seconds later, there's not many abilities that act like that. This is very rare. Now I got my skeleton archer, which if I summon him in a town is a crime, and the guards will come and whoop my ass. I got this Skelly homie. Let's get him am I too far away? What the fuck? Weird. Actually, I've never even seen a problem like that, but of course I'm recording a video. So you can see how like the damage you're doing to him. Let's see if this makes a difference, or it might just obliterate him. Alright, I guess it's hard to tell, but it's just, it's good. So the skeleton, it's like, this is a high value ability. Like summoning this guy summons him who deals damage to the enemy, but while it's active, I also gain like this really powerful damage buff. But also on top of that, for the skill line I have called Grave Lord, I have a passive that, while an ability is active, my penetration, which means like your ability to like rip through the defense. So think about, it's like defensive shred or something, whatever you want to call it. It's a great way to deal more damage. It gives you a ton of that if you have an ability active. And I don't really use many ability. Well, yeah, I guess I do, but they're not long lasting. So it's that's my main way of getting that effect to be fulfilled. So I have other abilities back here, siphon. I could like blow up corpses and stuff if I had a corpse around. I think you need to kill a humanoid to get a corpse. We can look for one. Rothgar. So this is the map. Ignore all this ugly icons. I'm not going to use this thing. I was trying to get an add-on. I do not need to, like, I'm not running around like, that's another thing is, like, I don't pick up, like, berries and twigs and all that like, I'll open up, like, a chest or something that's, like, looks legit. But, yeah. And I'm saying that so you understand, like, you could play this game like a single-player game. You could do whatever the hell you want. Like, you don't need to, like, it's not like playing, like, WoW or something where you're going to constantly feel like crap in a way, if you actually care. So looking at this map, you see something called a sky shard. It's a delve. So delve is one of these single player dungeons, and a sky shard is this thing that you go to, and when you activate the sky shard, it activates and it goes away forever for that character, for that, given character's world in life. And you get a permanent one third of a new skill point. And they're all over the place, and you're doing other stuff and getting rewards for other stuff anyway while you do it. So, like, I know 1/3 sounds like pitiful or something, but this game is very liberal with the stuff you get. I've done very little side stuff or any kind of stuff to progress, and as I need skill points, like, I'll just be like, all right. Like, another thing is, like, look, and anytime I hit square, I respec, change, add abilities, like, no going to some fucking dude, no paying a bunch of money, no resetting the whole thing, you having to re-add all your stuff. Like, it's just like on the fly, in a matter of seconds, you could redo your build. And yes, you could save, like, build templates, like, in your armory and swap between them. Like, for this character in particular, I have a Death Knight build. So I tried to mimic World of Warcraft Death Knight. So I have Siphoning, which is like a blood oriented skill line from the Nightblade that drains health, and that's like the blood facet. I have Gravelord, which is what I'm using here, which is like the undead summoning unholiness. And then for the frost part, I'm using Winter's Embrace. I don't know what it's called. It's like the Warden's ice skill line. So that gives you like the frost decay feel. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, just like really just do what seems fun and thematic. Like, I did make one of my 3 characters that I'm playing a quote like more meta character, because I was like, I want to have one character that if I want to do some like challenging world content, especially stuff that's meant to be for teams, but I want to do it solo. I just want to have that potential. So my Arcanist, because they're already like the meta class, I just went with that. And I picked like 2 of the meta skill lines. Well, so here is another example. Like, one of the things that's like super good, super meta is the pick Storm Calling, which is a sorcerer skill line. And like, it is really freaking good. I would never argue it's not. But the main ability that you want to keep up all the time, like Resolve, that gives you like super defense. It's like, why? It's the kind of thing where it's like, there's no reason not to hit it every 30 seconds, unless you just literally, you don't want to take up the time to hit that button because you're either that sweaty to get damage in, or you're doing content that's easy enough where you don't need to worry about it, which is a lot of the time. Don't get me wrong, I'll be fair there, but I hate how it makes me look. My guy goes all electricity looking and like see-through, and I'm like, I'm not running around for the rest of my game time playing a character that looks like see-through lightning form. Like, that's just personally to me, it's shit. Just like I tried playing with the summon spells for the sorcerer, I think they're shit. Like, they're annoying the way they look, the graphic quality's bad, the art design is poor, the placement and like sizing of things, it's just, and the sorcerer pets, they take up, just like this pet, they take up 2 bars. So when I switch my bars, normally you'd have a different ultimate, but I have to put the bear on both, because if I did not, when I switched, they have to take it away from you, right? You can't, how are you going to have another ultimate and then try to get away with keeping him? So the pets for the sorcerer, they're permanent, and you have to put them on both your bars, and there's 2 of them. So a lot of times as a sorcerer, for any given build you're doing, you're just like, basically like, yeah, I have 6 buttons instead of 10 that I could really work with. It's, yeah. So yeah, you can see I got these poison arrows. That's a damage over time effect. So like, I picked a lot of arrow abilities that do damage over time. Because I have, again, even further, like this build, what I love, one of the things I love about it is it just mixes, there's so many synergies. I don't care if they're actually powerful on paper. It feels good, right? Like mentally, like to be like, oh, I'm clever. Oh, I'm 300 IQ. So like, oh shit, I already forgot what I was saying. Grave Lord, Skull Archer. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, the passive. So you got this skill here. It's called Sacrificial Bones. All the abilities, basically, all the skills, they have an original form and then they can go to an advanced form. But it's not just one. You always have a choice. And they will very often differ rather substantially and not just be like, a very tiny difference. So, for example, this ability, Gravelord Sacrifice, if I summon my skeleton this way, you can see it says it increases my damage with necromancer abilities and damage over time effects by 15%, blah, blah, blah. So that's part of why I'm using like damage over time effects. It's just another benefit. And as you'd imagine, a lot of poison abilities are damage over time effects, which my gear set works with. So like, it feels cool. So I was using that for a bit, and then I realized I was like, you know what? I don't have enough damage over time stuff. And I did like the rough, like, mental napkin math. And I was like, the amount of time that dots are actually ticking during any given battle and the amount of damage that those dot abilities do and the ticks that they do and how long it takes for that damage to come into effect, I was like, it gets blown away by this. Blighted Blast Bones, instead of buffing your character and giving you cool stuff, instead of doing that, this thing summons like a skeleton that jumps at the enemy and just explodes and does big damn. And it does disease damage, which is buffed by my gear set, which is good. Yeah. So there's all these things you'll see called like major defile and minor defile and like major resolve, minor resolve. So like there's a lot of abilities in this game that are named, and they also have a major and a minor named version. And the reason for that, to some degree at least, is that they allow them to give buffs where you can't do crazy stuff and like abuse things. So for example, if multiple classes have access to major resolve and that gives you a bunch of defense, you can't like use all those classes skill lines on one character and make your guy invincible and do something that you shouldn't normally be able to do or something. And now you're probably thinking like, oh, well then how do you have any variety between classes if they all can do the same thing? Well, it's like, no, one class's ability that gives you that given thing. So for example, say major resolve, the way that Nightblade gets that status buff and the way that a sorcerer gets it are completely different. Like one of them could be a benefit, one of them could be a detriment, one of it could be easy to get, one of it could be hard to get. One of it, when you activate the ability, could give you, major and minor resolve. Like it's just, it doesn't affect variety. So anyway, I'm showing you could like go into your skills, check stuff there. Yeah. So guilds for the first time. Guilds are really cool. I stay away from them forever until like a couple hours ago, basically, because I was like, I don't want to talk to people and deal with doing any kind of crap. Like I don't want somebody asking me, oh, well, what are you meaning? And what kind of content, what kind of groups are you trying to get? Like, dude, just like let me play my game. Like I'm just trying to be. And I was like not trying to get in there. So then like I finally did it. And I was like, oh shit, I don't gotta talk to anybody. No one's bothering me. There's literally groups that say like, join us, and like don't feel obligated to ever say a single word. I was like, yeah, that's my people. So like I went there and I joined 5 different guilds. And like you can go to the roster of your guild, and these are all the people that are online. You can go to somebody and just go like travel player, and it'll tell you that you can't because you're not in the same group. Take 2. So you can go in here and you could pick like something like That's a good one. We'll pick Shadowfen. Travel to player. So my guy's like teleporting. In the background, you can see I have a companion called Ember. Companions are crazy awesome in this game. Like they, not in like a power kind of way, but like design. They are. Just knocked my microphone over. So yeah, the design is great. Like they were shit. And there's a whole bunch of them you can get. And they're all different areas, different ways to get them.
All right, but can we do it best?
So like they have quest lines and stuff that you can get into, but I mean they have gear loadouts. You can set up different builds just like you would for yourself, and like even their skills, and they will learn skills as they go. And I just realized now I have a slot that I could add something to. I haven't spent too much time in here, but my thinking so far has mostly been to put all the higher cooldown skills on here because they're higher value generally, right? And what is the reality that she's gonna cast, like, I have that there first because someone heals, but what is the reality, and I probably should move that because I think it's confusing. It says use when Ember or an ally is below 75% health. Is that telling me that like she will do that automatically if it's below 75? But if I put it up here at number one priority, she will do it as a priority as any other spell and do it first. And I don't want it on there. I don't know. So like I guess I do need to like consult the Reddit nerds, but yeah, I'll have to figure that stuff out. But it's really cool. Like and this character is a sorcerer basically. And all the companions are like kind of off a certain class. So it's also cool how you can like kind of fill out your team. So now obviously that horn, see that thing coming down, those chains, and it locks in. It's one of those events I was talking about. We'll go do it. So now this thing's gonna like pump bad guys out. Normally there's like tons of people doing these in other areas. No one comes to this one, so this is gonna be all solo. So they'll just start melting from all the debuffs and yeah. Blah blah blah. Yeah. So there's like dodge rolling, there's blocking, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. Like you'll want to break out of stuns and things like that. Yeah. There's heavy attacks and light attacks, and yeah. That's my necromancer stuff. So yeah, my idea is like stay back, fight from range. And I also, like when I first saw this game, I was like, oh, this is like MMO-ish with like the ability bar. I was like, this isn't as good as Skyrim. And then I had like this epiphany. I was like, no, Skyrim is just heavy attacks and light attacks. And all the weapons that this game also has. And blocking, right? So that's all Skyrim ever was for Melee, basically. And then you had like these abilities where you could like step forward and swing, and yeah, there was other stuff, but really it's like if you want to play like Skyrim, you could. I'm mashing buttons right now. But like if you wanted to play Skyrim, basically you could put no abilities on your bar and hide your bar and just go around swinging your sword and shooting your arrows. Like you could do that. Or like if you don't want class abilities, you could just do all like bow abilities and sword abilities and just do sword and bow stuff and not feel like you're any class at all and just feel like a regular human being like Skyrim. I guess Skyrim isn't all human beings. Maybe none of them are humans, but yeah. So yeah, so this event here is called a dolmen. That's the symbol on the map. It's like a spinny little hurricane looking thing. But yeah, normally there are big group events and people like run, there's usually a couple in every area or in many areas, and you kind of like run through around and do each one in a row because they cycle every couple minutes. But all right, yeah, I'm doing no damage because my character normally has like 0 physical magical penetration. Like I built my character, I allocated everything like stats and whatnot to make him basically like completely dependent on the bugs. Like the bugs destroy the enemy's defenses like basically completely here. So I for now just eschewed all defense and yeah. This is taking forever because I am doing it alone. It's supposed to take like, a minute. Yeah. So another thing while my guys beat this stuff down is I just mentioned champion levels and how you can progress past max level. So you can see here, champion. So you have this whole like skill tree thing as well. So like warfare. And I'm champion level 270 or 80 or 90, whatever it is. And so I have on all my characters 290 points to spend. And they get split, through each one of these one by one. So I don't have 290 of each. I have, whatever 290 divided by 3 is basically roughly. Yeah, you could even see like 12, 13, they're pretty close. So yeah, you could spend them at any time, at any amount you want, and different nodes, like reduce fall damage, speed outside of combat. So this stuff is like whatever you think's cool, none of this shit really matters, it's not really power. Now these are your power ones, red and blue. This is where you're getting like straight up like armor, straight up like this one, reaving blows. You get leech, like 7% life leech to any character by getting this node. Like 7% is not like huge, but like if you build your character where say they're low on healing, high on armor, and they just take very little damage, like you might be able to do enough damage where you could stay topped off basically doing hard stuff. So all right, cool. So this is the reward at the end, the chest. And I got a set necklace. So like basically every time that thing opens, you're getting a set piece. It wasn't, yeah, see? Very cool. Like, I just am very rarely disappointed with rewards or what I get for the time I put in doing anything. Like, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. So what I will do, I know this isn't compelling gameplay. I've been wandering around the world map, like fighting like, the generic dummies, but I was, just trying to wander and talk a little bit about the game. So there's a whole thing of PvP, like look at this. Let's see if you go to like Blackreach. That was not what I wanted to do. But anyway, so this is one of the PvP things you could do. So look how absurd this is. So different races are part of different factions, like ESO lore. And there is a way to circumvent that, but that's a whole another thing. But basically, for the most part, generally people are restricted to their alliance. Sort of like, Horde and Alliance, how there's 2, in this there's 3. But there's these huge world scale battles going on. Well, not world scale, Cyrodiil scale battles going on. And you have trebuchets and siege weapons, and you try to take, conquer certain nodes back from the enemy. Yeah, it's something else. And I have honestly not engaged with it personally, but I've seen a bunch of it and I've learned a bit about it, and I get the feeling that as someone who is not like super meta and super playing this for a million years and has all the champion points and gear sets and like guild abilities unlocked, like realistically, I think I'm just gonna get blown away if I do PvP. So I just like haven't done it literally at all yet. And because I was like, you're gonna want different gear, you're gonna want different stats, you're gonna care about damage to block, but you don't care about damage to block because no one blocks as far as single player stuff goes. It's just if you've ever played PvP on WoW or tried to play PvP on WoW again, for example, it's not an easy feel. I will say like Guild Wars 2 had a great PvP scene though. Not the scene itself, but the system, the way it was designed, like that was the most fair thing I ever felt like I played. Like at any given time, you could just hop in there. You didn't have to spend money. You didn't have to be playing for a long time. If you were good, you could just dominate. Like people had an advantage for sure because they could have certain things that you didn't have, but it was like, it's not quite the same as other games. In WoW, you'll just get deleted like one shot, right? If you don't have gear. So, and I assume this game is similar because I've seen some of the stuff you could do, and I imagine it could be pretty nasty. Anytime you have a game that has so many levers to pull and so many multipliers, right? It's like if you can get the stars to align, crazy shit can happen. So I'm gonna log off this character. I'm gonna show my vampire girl real quick. She's like I could say, she's like my main, I guess. So this is like my story character. Like I really am just like Elder Scrolls Skyrim styling with this character. Like being a vampire, especially like later stages, is just devastating to your power. Like I have 0% health regeneration. Like I have to like eat food or cast a healing spell. Like my health won't go back out of combat. Like my stamina magicka doesn't really come back. Like, but I don't care. Like I'll give it all up just for that. Like it's so worth just being the vampire. So I'm just doing like what's cool with this. So my Arcanist, like I said, it's kind of like my meta character. I'll show that one off later. I like the character a lot, like the person, so to speak, that I created. But this has got to be my favorite. All right, so as a Nightblade, you can go stealth, which is fantastic. I have a vampire ability here, just slicing at him. And I just think I look splendid. The whole goth girl aesthetic. All right, let's see some cool stuff. Blink in there. Nice. All right. So she's good at executing shit. She is not subclassed at all. She is, as the day she was born, she is all Nightblade skill lines because, like Shadow, the only thing I care about is literally, I don't care about any of the passives. I don't care about any. This is all that matters. Being able to hit a button and become invisible, like that is, in my opinion, like a gameplay defining feature, and I will not lose the skill line on this class. She will cease to be a Nightblade. And just with the vampire and the shadow, I mean, like, I'm so awesome. I mean, like, not in like game power wise, but like in my head, how much I love my character wise. Like, she's just great. So let's see if we can feed on some people. Spread the love, give that good. Can I not eat her? Am I not hitting the button right? I'm a noob, so you gotta... I don't know, what the hell? Is it because she's sitting down? So I have this vampire ability here. It just slowly damages yourself more and more and more, and it gives you more and more power, and it eats, and I'm losing all my magic because I'm like stealthing, and yeah, none of it matters because I'm just awesome. Just eat them up. All right, now we're gonna try to find, what about this person? Truly, this is truly the worst game ever. All right, before I kill myself from self-damage, and now I'm stuck with no health. I'll use a potion. Yeah, I don't recommend playing on Vampire level 4. It's not good. I don't normally play like this. I was just screwing around eating people. I normally play on level 1 or 2, because at 2 you can see, again, like I love all the synergies, whether they actually matter power-wise, I don't really care. It's just like, trying to trick my brain into feeling awesome. So you can see when you leave sneaker invisibility as a vampire, you get 300 weapon damage for 6 seconds. And then also as Nightblade, if you look at the shadow line, you can see okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. There is an ability though. There's something that says like when you leave stealth, yeah, just trust me. I know what I'm talking about. I'm a professional. All right. Oh, it's a player. No wonder. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to find a human to eat. So I don't know what this town is all about. Reaper's March. It's very like lonely and empty. Let's see. Let's go somewhere more interesting. Where will it be? I know a kind of cool. Vardenfell is cool. Let's go to Somerset Isle. That's a splendid area. We could feed on some high elves. Show them, what is it, Myr and men? Myr, the elves. Yeah, show them men. Let's see. Archon Grove. Okay, there we go. Then, here we go. Trying to find a town. So you also can travel from anywhere, anytime, but you have to pay. If you go to like one of the waypoint things, you can travel for free. So Somerset is the home of the High Elves, the Altmer, as it says. It's a really cool area. I actually did this entire quest line twice. I did it the first time I played the game years ago, and I did it again. And it was good, and I think the area is great looking too. So yeah, the world's visually impressive. So like the things that take away from it feeling like Skyrim or Oblivion though is definitely like way less NPCs. Like the cities feel like, hollow and dead like this, which really sucks, but yeah. I mean, not that Skyrim and Oblivion had like 1 million people walking around, but this is, you think like this is like COVID or something going on. Like there ain't nobody. I wonder if you could eat these guys. I doubt it. That would be ridiculous. Like these guys are guards. They have a weird health bar that tells my brain, don't try to attack this guy. It will not end well. Yeah. But yeah, even though there's not a lot of people, like as you could tell, I'm somebody that plays games for just like the feel, the enjoyment, the art, the immersion, like just making my character look the way they look and crouching here and looking around now, like I'm enjoying it. Like there's just a lot of stuff that you can do to customize your character and your gameplay, and play the way you want, make your story the way you want it to be. There's like voice, as you can see, as people ran by, you saw like names in the bottom right corner. Like I have all the voices muted because I will turn on stuff on and be social and do group stuff once I get a better handle of the game. But like right now, I just don't want to be bothered. Like I don't want anyone to ask me to do anything or stop me from what I'm doing at any time, or I don't want to have someone messaging me, or I don't know. I just trying to be like really antisocial for now with this. But yeah, I know that what I'm showing right now looks extremely boring because I'm running around like in an empty area, basic attacking idiot enemies that don't do anything. But it's not like that when you're doing actual quests and stuff. So let's do something like that. So one of the handy dandy cool things is you can do this. You can go to your map and find an area that looks interesting. So for example, you could go into an area like that, or even if you aren't highlighting the area that you want to go to, it doesn't matter. You can see the zone guide here. So here's all these things. Now the blue arrow means I'm there right now. The check means that I have started it, or it's what I'm currently working on. You can see the blue highlighted box around the enemy, the boss camp icon. And yeah. So let's see. So there's all these different places you can go, and when you look at it, like Northern Elsewhere, you can see this says Zone Story Quests 0 of 8. Zone Story Quests are the main story arc for the zone. Play these quests can award you with skill points, experience, golden gear. Then you have like the way shrines, and you have delves. So like this helps you keep track of what you've done in the area, but you also can go to it and just hit something like, if I want to hit square, well, not that one, public dungeon. So this is a go one. No, let's do delves. So I want to check delves. Look, now it zooms in, goes to Northern Elsewhere. It's like, okay, here's a delve. So it reveals one thing on the map that you wouldn't have normally seen. And it's like, hey, you can go do this. Now, if you actually go there and do that one, because you did it as part of this like pseudo quest, it will then say, would you like to do the next one? And it will show you where it is. So like not only can you naturally reveal everything, but if you want, you could ask it to reveal one thing that's nearby, and then it'll keep going through it. I completed Somerset on this character. You can see that right there, 9 out of 9. So I did the quests as they are seen on the right. I'd say they're all roughly around that length that you saw there. Some are shorter, some are longer. You'd see like 8, 7, 8, 10. So they're all around that, 9, 8, 10 area. I like how I ordered those numbers there. And then you see things like this. These are dolmens. These are the ones that come up regularly, as in like timed in succession, and you go through them one by one. But yeah, I have about 6 minutes left on my 1 hour limit to PS5 recordings, I believe. So I think I'll wrap up this session. So yeah, to compare it to other games, like I'd say like if you like Elder Scrolls Oblivion and such, Skyrim, will you like this? You will if what you're seeing, like what you see is what you get. Like there's no like trick here.
That wall over there won't shut up about how much it hates rain. Let's find this.
See this? How this randomly happened? Like this kind of stuff does happen. You will get things like that, and you will get like people will run up to you in the wild and like say something to you, and there's a quest, or like you'll find an interesting letter on the ground and read it, and it starts a quest line where you're gonna go do this, that, and the other. Like it does have all that stuff that Skyrim has. It's just, I think it's like more of like almost like a mental thing where it's hard to not see like the MMO that it is, because it is a freaking MMO. Like first and foremost, it was an MMO. That's what they made. It's Elder Scrolls World, but it's an MMO. And yeah, it's really, yeah, it's like I can't even say anything negative that it does, other than, like I said, like the deep exploration of like truly intriguing. Like, I mean, anyone that's played Skyrim significantly, like, and has done like everything in Skyrim, like I have basically, like, you know, there's some stuff that you've gotten to and you're like, how in the world would anyone ever do what I just did, and like went to this place and went all the way down here and then found this second whole area that's bigger than the, you know, you're not going to get that here. So, you know what, I'd say it's much more in line with Oblivion. I'd say Oblivion type dungeons and environmental challenges and surprises, it's better than that. It's better than Oblivion in that regard, but I'd say it's less than Skyrim though in that regard. But yeah, and a lot of it's like rose-tinted glasses. Like, you know, you might run around and be like, oh, this is empty. Ah, there's nothing going on. But you know what? When you were playing Skyrim or Oblivion, you saw this exact scene here 1,000 million times, and you didn't care because the game was great. So yeah, I highly recommend the game. I think if you were put off by it or discounted it like I did for the reasons I did, like thinking it's not good enough to be that kind of game, it really is. Like, I am playing these 3 characters regularly, and they are each like their own character. Like, you know, this character, this is who I'm doing the Dark Brotherhood quest lines. You know what I mean? Like, I'm murdering people with this chick. I'm stealing shit with this chick. Like, you know, my other character is going to be like in the Fighters Guild. You know, I had like my Breton. She's going to go to the Breton expansion, or, you know, expand the Breton zone, and she's going to do the Breton quest, learn about the Breton people, background, all that stuff. You know, I brought my high elf to Somerset, and you know, it's just like there's so much flavor and customization. Like, you know, my dark elf female character, I got a companion that's also a dark elf female. So it's like, and they're wearing the same uniform. So it looks like they're like, you know, like best sisses and like war buddies. And it's just, yeah, there's just a lot of freedom. There's outfits. Yeah, there's guilds, there's mages guild, there's housing, there's furnishing. Like, okay, so real quick, I got like 2 minutes for this thing ends. We're going to the Untraveled Road Guild. We're going to this house. So this guy's place. He made this, and, you know, God bless, because it's great. It has all 4 seasons. The Druid Spring Conservatory. So people get these things and they put all kinds of like art in there, convenience items. Like, I got, you know, like your stones from like Skyrim and stuff. Like, he's got them right here, like the Ritual, the Atronach, like the Thief. Like, what do I got running right now? Penetration. That's fine for now, but we'll switch that to crit chance soon. But yeah, so yeah, he's got this cool place, and look, he's got this all set up, and I can go here anytime. I can just fly in. Like, so I came in up here, as you noticed. Oh, we're running down the wire. We got 1:30 left. All right, so I came in here. Quickly, you can go here. Just go to your armory. I have Vampire Nightblade, and I have my human version Nightblade ready to go. Different gear, different setup, whatever. Down here, move. All right, so you can go here. This person, you know, she does a bunch of crap. This guy does stuff. Like, you got your tables, clothing station, blacksmithing, like all this goodness. A merchant. And everything is voiced. The entire game is voiced. Every single line of every piece of dialogue from every character, and like, this game has to have more dialogue and voice, and it's just the years of game, the content in it. Look, I got 40 seconds left. This game is incredible, and I'm going to do, I think, at least one more video just rambling about it. All right, well, thank you for listening to my first video that I'm trying to just kind of get the feel for how this stuff sounds and works. Hopefully this wasn't a wasted hour of talking where the audio did not record, but we'll find out soon. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate the view. And if you have any interest or questions or requests, I will answer and create as requested. right, take care. Have a good night.